This is the Tom Barnard Podcast. Listen live weekday mornings, 8 to 9:30, or anytime you like as a podcast on the Tom Barnard app at tombarnardshow.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
All right, so I didn't check yesterday. The Twins had a game yesterday, did they not, last night?
Yep.
They did.
And?
I believe they won because I heard fireworks, but let's look it up.
I heard fire. Well, there you go, I suppose, yeah.
They won. It was Prince night or something along those
That's right.
lines.
It was Prince
Nice.
night. Yep.
So, yeah, everything worked out. I know I saw a Carlos Correa had like the Prince cowboy hat, and they had like inflatable Prince guitars. It looks like they were hanging out. So he was wailing on one of those in the dugout after like a home run or something. But
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Nice.
There you go. We should do that. We should do it like a Prince night, only it'll be Prints. What do you think? It's Prince night. See, we printed this out just for you.
We got a printing press. We're just going crazy.
It's Prince night. Yeah, that's matter of fact, you go out, what is it? Yeah, 5. You go out 5. That's now Prince Memorial Highway. You got
is it really?
They got
I
a
didn't know
big
that.
sign there and everything. Yeah, Prince Memorial Highway. It's 5. Once you get past the pyramid, then it starts there or something, or maybe it's the whole thing. But I know the sign's out headed west. I know that, but. Good for him. He achieved quite a bit. And God, he was only in his 40s when he died, wasn't he? Or was he older than that?
I feel like he was in his 50s.
Oh, was he? Okay.
But like that's for him, that's still too young.
Way too young.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. Hell of a talent. There's no question about that. Like I said, I only met him a couple of times, said hello, and never had a conversation. So I don't know if he's a good guy or not. He's very shy. That I do know.
Yeah, very shy. 57 when he passed away.
He was 57. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, he did not look it whatsoever.
No.
He looked like he was still in Central High School.
Yeah.
That's the whole deal. Yeah, I'm still at Minneapolis Central. I'm only 16. So it all works. Okay, so we had a Twins victory. That's good. That means Phil will be in a better mood anyway. So that's good. Anything else of great importance going on?
Of great importance. Not anything that is over the top noteworthy. I mean, the Vikings they announced that their first round draft pick, JJ McCarthy, is going to be getting all the second team reps, which I don't think anybody's surprised by.
No, not at all.
There's been a few older crimes where people are getting sentenced and actually doing jail time, which is nice. There was
What?
Yeah. So,
Yeah, crazy to hear, right?
Not
Jail
everybody-
time? What?
Yeah, there was a guy from 2022 that murdered somebody inside a Nordstrom rack at the Mall of America that's about to do like life in prison and a bunch of other stuff. So yeah, people are actually being held accountable now.
Because I think it's a congresswoman that wants to pass a law, no matter if you murdered 2 people or you robbed somebody or no matter what you did, that once you get out of prison, they need to expunge your record so you don't have a criminal record. Why would you ever want to do that?
See, I can see that for like jaywalking or like a crime like that. If you killed somebody, that you gotta kill. That's gotta come with you for the rest of your life.
But what is getting in your head that you think that's a good idea? The man killed somebody and you want to expunge his record after his prison time.
They're usually, to me, it seems like in my experience with politics, which is minimal,
Mhm.
it seems like there's usually something behind the scenes
Oh, yeah.
driving a motive.
Oh,
where
yeah.
I'm gonna say it's for this reason, but in reality, I had a buddy that
Right.
You
Yep.
know.
She knew somebody that has something on their record that she's trying to get off, type of thing.
Well, and if you expunge their record, that means you get rid of the documents that show they were in prison. So if they another crime committed, they go back to court. Well, they've never done anything wrong.
First time offender.
First time offender. What do we do? So you're always a first time offender. What sense does that make?
Wow, it makes no sense at all.
It's all about this again to try to buy votes, isn't it? You want to get people to vote for them. That's all they don't care about you and your prison time. It's vote for me.
Yeah, or I feel like it's like one of those situations where they just get carried away, where maybe like because now that marijuana is legal, they go, okay, well, we're going to expunge all those, and then she just didn't stop there. She's like, and let's throw in these people we want expunged and these people.
Yeah,
so,
exactly. God, you see the CNN and NBC and this war they've got going with Fox and Donald Trump is just hell. Did you see they reported yesterday that Donald Trump said, Wisconsin is a very important state in the election, obviously, very important. So they put on CNN and MSNBC Donald Trump says Milwaukee is horrible. Well, they left out a couple words. He said the death rate is horrible. He didn't say Milwaukee's horrible. They cut two words out and make it look, Milwaukee is horrible.
Which he's not wrong about the death rate in Milwaukee.
Well, it's that third to nation.
Yeah, you forget what's the Marquette. Like if you go to the University of Marquette, if you're on campus, safe, everything's great. You go one block off of campus, you better pray. Like Milwaukee's rough.
Except for if you go into Arts Performing Center, right next to the Performing Arts Center.
Yeah.
I wonder if that strip club's too. I love that. The Performing Arts Center and then a strip club called Arts Performing Center. He's got a strip bar, tries to make it look really classy, you know. But, you know, there's also this report out now that a certain extreme wing of women on the left are trying to completely wipe out marriage. They're telling everybody, don't get married. That's just a guy trying to own you and control you. Well, you guys have been around Catherine. You think I own her and control her? Good luck to you.
Yeah, I would say you do. Frankly, Tom, I'm sick of it. Times are changing.
Poor Catherine.
But these women want to wipe out marriage. Why? Again, you don't want to get married. Good for you. I don't care. Not married's not for you. Catherine and I have been married on July 7th, just a few weeks from now. We'll be married for 40 years. I've been with her for 44 years. I don't have the problems you do. So why don't you just leave me alone and live your life?
Yeah, the issue isn't necessarily marriage itself. It's probably the reason why people are getting married or who you're deciding to marry and jumping into it too quickly. So it's like attack those issues first, and then we can have the grander discussion of marriage as a whole.
And that sounds like the classic case of like the small minority being as loud as possible because everybody else is just fine with it.
Yep.
Like it's just such an outlandish thing. I feel like nobody's getting married. Nobody can do it. And what's the other side? Like, no, just nobody's out parading in the street saying, get married, go do it. There's literally no opposition here to your cause.
I mean, it's just totally ridiculous. You know, thinking about that whole thing to show how progressive I am, very progressive guy that I am. Before Catherine, because Catherine and I were originally going to get married in 1982, and then something happened. The economy took a dive or whatever, so we decided we better not get married now. So we got married in 84. Yeah, we got married in 1984. So this is 50 years ago. We're deciding to get married. Almost 50 years ago. Catherine said, I'd really not like to change mine. I don't want to change my last name. I said, I don't care. Good. You want to keep the name Catherine Brandt? Good for you. I don't care. No, again, this is almost 50 years ago. Then we decided if we have kids, because she has a different last name than I do, what are we going to do? And I said, why don't we do Barnard, Brandt, Barnard? We'll flip a coin. Whichever comes up heads, that'll be what our kid's last name is. Happened to come up Brandt Barnard. I mean, this whole idea that men only marry women to control them, I am a perfect example of that's bullshit.
Yeah, and I would argue that most men will tell you, yeah, my wife runs the house. I'm just here.
Absolutely.
I'm just along for the ride.
I'm just here kicking my feet.
To open jars with the lids on too tight, and she makes all the rules. Right.
An example of how Catherine controls my life. About a month ago, I put on this shirt because I'm trying to look for clothes that actually fit. This shirt's a little big for me, you might notice now. But honestly, guys, she'll be reading a book, and I'll put on a shirt, and she'll be going, that's horrible. Get rid of it. Like, okay. Well, apparently she doesn't like that. Look, I adore the woman. She's a very important thing. She's the best thing that ever happened to me. Why wouldn't I want to be? Did we have to get married? No. But we kind of did it just to tip the cap to one another and go, hey, I'm committed to this. You're committed to this. I mean, it's the commitment part that's great, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it's supposed to be.
And I'm sure the tax stuff is okay too.
Yeah, it gets worse. You're right.
Does it?
It can. Yes. If your wife works, you got to pay a lot of taxes.
See, I've always been under the impression that if you're married, you get a couple more benefits for taxes.
Yeah, maybe you do. They don't.
Oh, it's not that. Okay.
Yeah, it's not an important thing at all. Why don't people ever go back and look into before they just try to disparage someone and ruin their life? Why don't you go back and do your research before you? Well, you and I have talked about this before. The fact that all those years ago they called me a racist. Oh, he's a racist. I said, I dated a woman for a long time, a black woman, when I was 23. Okay,
That's
so
very racist of you.
it was really racist, wasn't it? That, again, 50 years ago. You know how many white guys were dating black women 50 years ago? I think I might have been the only one. I mean, I met her. She was very nice. You know, we didn't end up staying together, but we had a great time. Why wouldn't you go back and do your research and go, is this true, or is this just some guy trying to be an asshole?
Research takes too much time.
Yeah, it does.
It's much easier
really
just
does,
to copy
doesn't it?
and paste a headline and send it out to the masses.
I like pulling stats just out of the clouds,
Yup.
picking them out, whatever caters to my argument.
So basically, I predicted the future of the world is what I did.
That's what I'm hearing. Yes.
20 years old, I showed them how it was supposed to be.
Hey, what are tonight's Powerball numbers?
Yes.
Yeah, I should do that. Some guy doesn't some guy have a chicken that picks his Powerball numbers for him?
Oh, there's
Like
people that have
peck it.
everything.
That's about as good of a chance as anybody else. That might be smarter than what I do, which
Well-
is just say, pick a random one for me.
There's a corgi that's famous on the internet for standing on top of the stairs, and they toss him a basketball, and he hits it with his nose into two baskets at the bottom of the stairs, and they'll put two whatever teams. Like it'll be the Twins are playing the Oakland A's. Who's going to win? And then the corgi picks it based off of whatever ball or whatever basket the ball lands in. So yeah, there's people do shit like that all the time.
They do all the time. Oh, I got to mention this because I just got a text message on my watch here. Well, aren't you going to tell them about this, that, or the other thing? I said, what are you talking about? What do you mean? He goes, well, you're not with her anymore, the young black woman. I don't want to give you her name. I remember her name. She's very nice. But he said, why don't you tell them about what really happened? I said, what are you talking about? He said, the last time you talked to her, she hung up on you. I'm like, I can throw that in if you want. That's fine. I got no problem with that. We'll take a break. Be right back. Phil is going to be with us. Hi, Tom Barnard here for Livia Weight Control Centers. Now's the time to get a jump on summer. You could lose up to 20 pounds or more in your first 8 weeks. The Livia Way. When you join Livia, you'll receive a personalized and doctor-recommended program tailored to your unique needs, goals, and lifestyle. Livia's amazing team of registered dietitians and nutritionists will guide you every step of the way. Join Livia today and get your first 8 weeks free. Yeah, I went in, had an exam yesterday, got my GLP-1 injection, which is nothing. Do you guys mind it when those little needles that you get shots with little needles? You care about that?
I'm not a huge anti-shot person.
Oh,
my
I'm
sister's terrified of them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
stick me with whatever.
I'm terrified. I've
Really?
got shot stories for days of times that I've just been squirmish and jumped, and yeah, not okay.
You're fine. Don't worry about a thing. Don't worry about a thing. So, yeah, it's all working out really well. Met a lot of the new people that are going to work. There were looked like about 15 people there. I met them all. They'll be working in the local shops, obviously, and then there's going to be one in Rochester and Eau Claire, Wisconsin. It was nice to meet them as well. But I did ask the 4 young people, have you ever heard of Rodney Dangerfield? And they said no, because that's my go-to. I always ask, if you don't know, because then I said, have you ever seen Caddyshack? And they said, oh, yeah. I said, well, that's Rodney Dangerfield. They don't know. They don't care about that stuff, right? So that's how I find out, is this my audience or not? You know what I mean? You can do a lot of research that way. There's no question. But very, very nice people. All nice people. It was really great to meet you yesterday at Livia. Join Livia today and get your first 8 weeks free. Visit livia.com. That's LIVEA.com. Or call 855-GO-LIVIA. And Livia is now offering GLP-1 medications. And I don't have any reaction to those at all. I guess some people do, but I do not. Quiet the food noise to see accelerated rates of results by summer. Visit livia.com or call 855-GO-LIVIA. Start your weight loss journey now. Get a jump on summer the Livia way.
The past several years have been the craziest in the history of the car business. The pandemic, supply chain, and chip issues, all causing extreme inventory shortages that led to, predatory pricing. Some dealers charge thousands of dollars over MSRP.
We never played that game. I'm Jim Paul of Valley Buick GMC. We knew that would leave a bad taste in a customer's mouth. More importantly, from an integrity standpoint, it was just wrong.
So what about the current market? Inventory and pricing.
Valley has their best inventory in years. Really all the Buick and GMC models. Even the previously hard-to-find Yukons, HD pickups, and Hummer EVs. Plenty of deep discounts. Many with factory rebates and low-interest financing.
Then it's a good time to buy?
It's a great time. We're welcoming our previous customers back, as well as anyone else that felt the treatment just didn't feel right the last time somewhere else.
Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley and Hastings or valleycardealers.com. Car buying without the bad aftertaste.
let us take a second to talk about my bank, North American Banking. I got to say something first, though. I love the fact that Jim Paul's on this show. You guys ever met Jim Paul?
Nope.
Valioles. He's one of my dear friends of mine. I've known the guy for, 50 years, 40 years, whatever the hell it's been. But just hearing his voice every morning is great. Such a good guy. Let's take a second to talk about a guy that's okay, Bilski. Oh, I was talking to someone yesterday. I said, yeah. He said, where'd you get my number? I said, from Bilski. And he goes, who's Bill Key? I said, no, it's Bill Ski. Mike Bill Ski. Let's go. You'd heard me talk about the long time now, but when they opened in 1998, they made a promise to deliver a better banking experience for their customers, where you know your banker and they know you. Well, a lot has changed since 1998. This commitment to being a true community bank in the Twin Cities has not. So if you're looking for a better banking experience, why not bank with my friends at North American Banking Company? Go to nabankco.com or stop by any one of their six. They have 6 Twin Cities locations now. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
And now, bringing home another winner, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Phil Mackey.
Yes. By the way, speaking of Rodney Dangerfield, this week is the 38th anniversary of the triple Lindy dive in Back to School.
Back to school, baby.
If you haven't seen the triple Lindy, it's Rodney Dangerfield on a high dive and then ping-ponging his way down the different diving boards and doing a triple flip.
What was that great line he had? Tell me when you don't have any. Well, give me a call sometime when you don't have any. What the hell was that line again? It was a great line.
I'd have to watch again. It's been so long.
It's like, hey, honey, you wanna hang out later tonight? Oh, sorry, I've got class. Class? Call me when you got some class.
Call me. Yeah, that's right. Call me sometime you got some class.
That's what it is.
God, he was funny. But it is interesting that people generally around 35 years old or younger do not know who. And if you don't know who Rodney Dangerfield is, you don't know who any of these people are.
It's a cutoff. I mean, so I'm 39, and I do remember Back to School.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was 1 when it came out, so I watched it like sometime in the 90s.
Right.
And obviously Caddyshack, and then I remember his appearances on late night shows. But I think if you're kind of in that 38, 39, 40 range, your comedians became Jim Carrey.
Yeah,
they were guys like Adam Sandler and Chris Rock and that, like Dave Chappelle. I think that's the age cutoff, I feel like.
You know, it's interesting though. In my day, we went back and found out who the early comedians were as well. I mean, long before our generation. I happen to be one of the few probably Catholic boys in America that knew who Parkia Carcass was. There was a comedian named Parkia Carcass. That was, well, you know what a carcass is, obviously.
Yeah, it sounds like how a person from Boston would trash talk you or say, hey, Parkia Carcass.
Parkia Carcass. Yeah, you're absolutely. But yeah, there are people like that. A lot of Jewish comedians had names like that.
Okay. Because
there was still anti-Semitism. Well, there's anti-Semitism now. So that's got to be a pain in the ass to be a Jew in America. Like every 20 years, you're the devil. Like what?
Yeah.
What's that all about now?
Is Charlie Chaplin considered a comedian or more of an actor?
Yeah, he's a physical comedian, I guess. Did you ever hear his voice? You never did you?
So there's a couple. It's funny. I went. What a weird question because I was down a YouTube rabbit hole like a couple months ago, trying to find what his voice sounded like. I was like a couple of glasses of wine deep on a Saturday. I think my wife had fallen asleep, and I'm just like randomly down a Wikipedia and YouTube rabbit hole. I'm like, what did Charlie Chaplin's voice sound like? I don't know. But there are some rare videos
really
of him later in his career, like addressing behind the scenes things, sort of addressing cast members or whatever, maybe. So yeah.
You know what I love about that stuff is like, Fatty Arbuckle was a guy from that same era, ended up going broke because of a bunch of different things. They said that he, I don't know, had some sexual problems or some damn thing. But all those comedians back in those days, when you talk to like somebody's great grandfather back many, many years ago, they go, both those guys were pricks.
Yeah.
So you got this image of these really funny comedians, really great guys. Nah, not good people.
We also used to have a lot of like duos and trios. You had the Three Stooges and Abbott and Costello and Laurel and Hardy with their physical comedy. Do we have any duos anymore? We don't.
I don't think so. God,
Kevin Hart and The Rock, I guess, is the closest that we come now.
I think the closest would be like Key and Peele.
Yeah,
But
Yeah,
they
Key and Peele.
They haven't had their show in a while now.
long time.
Yeah.
That was a
Keenan
good
and
show.
Kel from the 90s.
Yeah, Keenan and Kel. Yeah.
Tim Robinson, Sam Richardson, two of my faves.
See, there you go. Robinson and Richardson. There you have it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I used to love that stuff. Well, Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis started as a duo.
Yeah.
So, they did a bunch of movies together and all the rest of it. But yeah, I mean, it's nothing against anybody that doesn't know who Rodney Dangerfield is because they're 35 years old. It's not a negative thing. It's just how society is changing and has changed.
Yeah, nothing against you. I mean, you're an idiot if you don't know who Rodney Dangerfield is.
Right. I would have to say that. But
You're a worthless human being, but nothing personal.
Live your life.
So then I just started doing you know what one person said to me though? I wanted to go over and choke him because, I launched into a little Rodney because they said, so you've never heard this voice. And I did an imitation of his voice and all the rest of it. You know what somebody said to me? This is not a compliment. Woman said, God, you do a perfect impression of him. And you kind of look like him too. Thanks. Thank you. Yeah. I look like Rodney Dangerfield. That's not an insult at all.
Let me pull up let me see. Let's see here.
Oh, you're gonna pull up a picture of Rodney?
If we could get Tom to wear a tight red tank top and stand on a diving board just to see
Yes. Yeah, and I pulled up because I was unfamiliar with the triple Lindy. It's a very.
Did you watch it?
Oh
Very
yeah, I
impressive.
watched it. It's a very impressive dive.
Triple
to
Lindy.
go sideways.
Yeah.
And down.
Yeah, that's not
Diving
easy.
board to diving board. Very impressive.
What's funny is it's very obviously a stunt person that isn't 100 pounds near what Rodney Dangerfield would. So
Exactly.
you've got Rodney Dangerfield with his beer gut and he's the close-up cam, and then they show someone in the same outfit jumping off the high dive, and it's someone. It's like Greg Louganis body.
No question about it. God, that was a great period, though. I loved Rodney. We used to have him on the show once in a while. And what's amazing, I had his wife on the family podcast several times. She's a very nice person.
Does she look like Rodney Dangerfield too?
No, she did not. There's no question about that. But can you imagine what it was like to be married to Rodney Dangerfield?
It would be annoying, I think, because everything would be a bit. Everything would be a bit.
Yep.
He'd always be in character. There'd always be a one-liner. You're just trying to settle down for the night after dinner, and there's always got to be something.
Hey, let me tell you, they're all doing something. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I see. I love doing research like that. Just kind of going out in public and figure out who do you know, what do you know, what's important to you. See, I wish our politicians would do that. It's just proof that they're going after votes. Wouldn't you, if you're a politician, go, what's important to you? I mean, they ask that in a very general sense, but each individual, instead of, hey, thanks for your support, which is great, and I'll do that too. Thank you for your support. What's important to you about this? I mean, I'd like to find out if I can get a consensus on what's really important to the American people.
Well, that's usually the second question that's asked. The first question is, how much money do you have to support me?
It's very true.
Then the second question is, what's important to you? Let me know.
That's exactly it. But yeah, hopefully, one of these days we'll get it all together. But I just found that so fascinating, so amazing that there are women on the very, very far left that are literally demanding that women not get married anymore.
Yeah.
Because their husband's just marrying them to control them.
Yeah, that's why I married my wife.
Me too. No,
just to feel a little more manly and powerful, throw
my
weight around.
Why Phil and I can both say that at this time of day, because neither his wife nor mine's awake yet.
Yeah, they're not listening.
Oh no, well, mine definitely wakes up and is much more accomplished in the mornings than I am.
So really?
I'm rolling over. She's like, I just ran 4 miles. What have you done, Tubby? What are you doing there, guy?
Well, you got to do what you got to. It's a weird thing that happened this morning because Catherine's usually asleep by the time I left the house, but I slept about an hour later today. And she obviously woke up an hour later because she was awake. She was lying in bed reading. But the weird thing is, our dog, Jude, who's now, 12, 13 years old, what the hell ever he is now. I walk into the room and he starts growling at me. And I said, it's me. What the hell's wrong with you? He's like growling at me and, not being aggressive. He's just sitting on the bed growling at me. And I said, what is that all about? And she said, you have to remember, you never come in here in the morning. He is not used to you being in here in the morning when he first wakes up.
Yeah.
And he doesn't like it. Isn't that weird that dogs
Well,
that smart?
He's also, he said he's like 13 years old, which means he's like 91 years old in human years.
Exactly.
So it's probably a little senile, not quite
Just a
sure
little.
what's happening.
You might be right about that. He could be president of the United States.
He could,
That description. He just move
could
right
be.
in.
He's just zoned out for 30 minutes on camera.
Wouldn't that be great? Ladies and gentlemen, the president of the United States starts growling at you on a mic.
You know, if you just put like, you know, a fairly fit 6-year-old golden retriever on the ballot,
Yep.
up against the two candidates that we're likely going to be voting for, what percentage would the 6-year-old attentive golden retriever get? That's my question.
How about 98%? How about that?
Yes, we voted in a dachshund, and we're trying to figure out what's going to happen.
Yeah, works for me. So we got.
By the way, the Twins. I should sneak a quick sports nugget in here. The Twins, they've the offense has gotten going. They scored 17 runs. What the other day was it 17, 14, 17?
Oh, 17.
And then 17. And then last night, Carlos Correa is pretty much in the hottest stretch of his career. He's got the batting average back to 300. He's playing great shortstop. Royce Lewis hits a home run every other game now. So
yep.
After getting smoked by the Yankees, they had a rough little go there on the road trip. The Twins are back 5 games over 500, 7.5 games back of Cleveland, but they've righted the ship here, and they are, according to the percentages on Baseball Reference, they have a 70% chance or more to make the playoffs. So start clearing your calendar for October. Even if you're not very high on this team, it looks like they are going to make the playoffs if they keep the ship steady here.
Well, if you keep it steady, and remember, as a person purchasing the tickets, remember it's a 5-game series. So that's all I'm saying. You just buy them for the first round, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Oh, I got you.
Do we get the Yankees in the first round? Is that how that works?
Oh God.
Let's see. So right now, what would it be now? So the Twins would be the 3rd wild card team. So they'd be playing. The Yankees would get a bye in the first round.
Right.
It would be. Looks like it'd be Twins Mariners in the first round if the playoffs started right now.
Right.
Which would be that'd be about the easiest matchup of the division winners. The Mariners are not a great baseball team.
Yeah, very, very true. Yep, very true. I'm excited though. They're at least being entertaining now. They haven't played any good teams in a while, and that's why they play good teams. They're terrible. They are terrible against.
I think they're winless against the 3 best teams in the American League. Like 0-14 or something.
Yeah,
Nice.
I think you're right.
So if you can somehow avoid the best teams in baseball in the playoffs, the Twins have a chance to win the World Series.
Good call. Just don't. We're not playing you. We've decided to just move on to the next round.
Play the Mariners again.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna swap in the Oakland A's actually, real quick here.
Ooh, I like that.
The Rockies again. Bring the Rockies back. That'd be great.
When are the A's moving to Vegas?
So I think this is their last year in the Dump Stadium, and then they're having it's going to be like 3 or 4 years until their Vegas stadium is built.
Oh, okay.
So they're going to be. Are they playing in the Sacramento? There's like a minor league stadium they're going to be playing in. It's a weird setup. They're so desperate to leave that cesspool of a stadium, though, that they're willing to play literally anywhere in a minor league stadium. Just get us out of here.
Yeah, that stadium. Well, Kath and I went there. I think the KQ Morning Show went there like 35 years ago. It was a dump then.
Well, there's literally like live rats and possum just hanging out in the rafters of the clubhouse. They have sewage spillovers every year.
It's always fun. Like once a year, what visiting like broadcast team has to vacate their booth because they're found a live rodent?
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's terrible. That is terrible. No question about it. Any closing words, sir?
Yeah. So I'm a huge golf fan. I know you are too. And I'm watching the early portions of the second round at the U.S. Open at Pinehurst today.
Amazing.
And man, like it's funny how the U.S. Open groundskeepers and the USGA, their mission is to make the best golfers in the world look like idiots. I mean, I've already seen a couple shots. I can't remember who it was, but somebody hit literally like a perfect approach shot, probably like 10 feet past the pin, a little bit of backspin, and it rolls 50 feet off the front of the green. And he's standing in the fairway. Like I literally almost had a holdout from the fairway.
Yeah.
So it's carnage early on in round 2. We'll see if anyone can stay below par here today.
Did you mention where they're playing just to annoy me? Is that what you did that?
Pinehurst #2.
Yeah. I have never played Pinehurst, but Catherine has.
Oh,
What
okay.
the hell? My wife's like, where are you going? Oh, we're gonna go play. Patty and I are gonna go play Pinehurst. I'm like, Jesus.
Right, just mentions it like she's going to freaking,
Like
Super Value.
Como and St. Paul. Yeah.
Oh, nothing wrong with that. All right, Pally, we will talk to you on Monday.
All right, you guys. Enjoy your weekend.
Thanks a lot. Phil Mackey, ladies and gentlemen, SKOR North. Take a break. Be right back in a couple of seconds. K&L Surplus and Ammo in Line of Lakes. My choice for firearms and ammunition. K&L is celebrating Father's Day week with 10% off all in-stock firearms now through Saturday. Jim, the owner, is one of the most knowledgeable people in the business, has a great selection of all the brands like Benelli, Tikka, Beretta, and SKB. I know hunting season is a ways off, no doubt about that. But if you think about getting something new for the upcoming season, now is actually a great time to start looking. The advances in rifle and shotgun technology over the last few years, well, it's amazing. If you're using something that's more like, say, maybe a decade old, 10 years old, you might be missing out on better performance and better results. If there's anyone that can help you get the right gun for hunting this fall, it's Jim at K&L Surplus and Ammo. K&L Surplus and Ammo is on Lake Drive and Line of Lakes and open Tuesday through Saturday. Save 10% on all in-stock firearms now through Saturday. You can visit them online at www.klgunstore.com.
When you need someone to listen, a lawyer you know and trust.
If you've never been in an auto accident, it's hard to know what to expect from the insurance adjuster. Here are some tips. 1, if they talk to you about whether or not you should hire a lawyer, it's a good sign that you probably should. 2, it's illegal for them to give you any legal advice. They aren't lawyers and they aren't licensed to practice law. 3, if they tell you that everyone involved in the accident is at fault, they're wrong. This comes from the belief that you're at fault for just being on the road. That's nonsense and not supported by any law. Finally, remember that friendly adjusters are often just gaining information. They want you to do most of the talking so they can file their report. I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. I hope you're never injured in a collision. But if you are, don't sign anything until you've talked to us.
Find Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw & Bryant.
When you go to a restaurant, you expect the chef to be an expert. I should just talk in that voice all the time, don't you think? You expect your mechanic to be an expert when it comes to fixing your car. You judge them both by the results of their work. Josh Arnold's an expert in investments and planning your financial future, as a matter of fact. I said expert. Josh is my expert, as a matter of fact, and he should be yours too. I talk to Josh every week, and he understands the market, the economy. He knows how to plan for your retirement. Don't put it off another day. The man with your plan is Josh Arnold. Call Josh now for a no-obligation, 48-minute evaluation. You got nothing to lose, and you'll have an expert planning and managing your financial future. Call Josh at 952-925-5608. That is 952-925-5608. Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC Security Investment Advisor. Past performance, no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice. I am a paid endorser.
This is the Tom Barnard Podcast. Listen live weekday mornings, 8 to 9:30, or anytime you like as a podcast on the Tom Barnard app at tombernardshow.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
Ladies and gentlemen, Channel 5's Chris Egert, brought to you by Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Call Josh today for your free 48-minute evaluation at 952-925-5608. I was not able to watch the news this morning, Chris, so I have no idea what's going on in the world. Anything special happening?
Well, it's kind of weird. Our top story was a state fair related story, which the state fair is still like 70 days away. There might have to make adjustments to the dairy barn, and because of there's a bird flu outbreak spreading to cattle. And so they've seen some cases around the state, and they want to make sure that before anybody takes a cow somewhere to show them off, like, any of our county fairs or 4-H events or whatever, that they've been tested, because they want to try to keep the spread of that from turning into a thing. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, and that much bigger implications, obviously, if something happened to our cattle herd. What are you laughing at, Tevin?
There's nothing more Minnesotan or Midwestern than make sure we social distance ourselves from our cows at the state fair. Nobody
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, I think the bigger issue is just the safety of the overall cattle population, because obviously if like something started going south there, that you're talking millions and millions and millions of dollars. So
yeah,
but it was weird to have a state fair story that's 70 days away yet and didn't really have, it's kind of a periphery state fair thing. So I guess what I'm saying, Tom, you didn't miss much.
nothing much going on in the world, seems like.
I mean, there's definitely things going on in the world, but that was what we had going on today. So
Well, have they brought the nukes to the nuclear warship that's Russia has parked outside of Cuba?
yeah, I mean, I always assumed they had submarines that were sitting a lot closer than 100 miles, probably right off the coast of New York City, right? Like, I'm not trying to downplay that, but I do know that, and Putin's obviously flexing. Everybody seems to think that he's like, and he's been saying some stuff the last, couple weeks as things have been getting more intense with Ukraine. So.
Did you see the public service announcement that Florida had to put out to some of their civilians over the past 24 hours?
No.
There's a Russian fleet of submarines or whatever that are they're close, but they're not super close. But they're don't antagonize. Please don't shoot at them.
Yeah, that'd be good.
So somebody has organized hey, let's all go out and shoot at them.
Works for me.
Jeez. How stupid do you have to be? To that Russian sub over there. Let's get on our little boat, go out there with a shotgun and shoot at it.
So what part of Florida is that?
It's very south. It's
but is it the west coast or east or be east? Well, I suppose it could be.
I think it's all. I assume it's all associated with that warship that's down in Cuba.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah, it's. I know things have reached fever pitch when my oldest kid sends me TikTok videos of Vladimir Putin saying things about bombing the United States. And when it's reached the level of TikTok news, then anyway, I mean, I'm not laughing about it. It's obviously he's a dangerous man. So
there's no question about it. That's been a problem for 120 years now. I mean, Russia has been running its mouth for 100 and so was it 1903, something like that?
I always feel like Russia has more to lose in a nuclear war than we do, right? Like, don't we just annihilate? I don't know. I don't even want to talk about it. I think we're too big of in my head, we're too interconnected as a global economy now than we ever were. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And the idea of a world war seems very impractical given the reliance on the other countries. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. I've never, it's got to be flat out ego. There's no question about it. Why these countries don't get along. It's got to be ego on both sides, I would think. I mean, we're powerful. We're more powerful. No, you're not. It's like, settle down. Jesus, you both got small wieners. So that's just the way it is, right?
But he has many big palaces. Large palace.
5'2". Is that how tall is that?
Pretty little dude, yeah.
He's not very big. I know that. So you do find out. I told you the toughest guy I ever knew was Andy Fisher. He's 5'7", weighed about 160 pounds. Not a big man. He could whip anybody's ass, but that does come out a lot when you either. This just popped into my head. I got to run this by you. The national news is getting crazier by the minute. I posted something on Facebook yesterday, the day before. I can't remember how all 5 people on MSNBC and CNN talk over one another. All 3 people on Fox talk over one another. I don't really hear you guys doing that much here. Do you? You don't talk over each other on the news, do you?
No, but a lot of time that those people talking over other people thing they're not structured newscasts like when you watch in the morning. They're more of like a round table or a panel discussion.
Yeah.
So there's no scripting that goes on with that. They're just all asked to gather, and then they sort of go down the line and ask X, Y, Z. And so I guess the format makes it a little more open for that kind of like yelling and screaming over each other kind of thing to happen versus like what we do. Cause does that make sense?
Yeah, but if you hear 4 other people talking, why are you talking? It makes no sense.
Well, I mean, that's just being an asshole, right? Like,
yeah, well, that's exactly right. Well, let's go with that. That works for me. Not a problem at all.
Like, and that goes to the other point too, of like trying to be the loudest voice in the room, where like, instead of like sitting and listening and actually having a conversation and reacting off of what somebody else has to say by listening to them, a lot of that goes on there is you are just waiting to get your moment to shout your counterpoint in, and you don't care what the other people have to say.
I guess that is true. Do you get annoyed by the fact that local news doesn't do this, but national news, they all do it? I mean, they all do that kind of thing. And the other thing they were doing yesterday, and I don't like it because they're lying. Because MSNBC and CNN reported yesterday that Donald Trump said Milwaukee is horrible. That's what they claim he said. Milwaukee is horrible. And what he said was the death rate in Milwaukee is horrible. Because it is. How is it legal for them to just edit out a couple of words and lie about what he actually said to try to harm him?
I didn't catch that yesterday.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I knew he was going to make a visit over there, but.
Yep. They just lied about what he actually said. And I suppose, I don't know if Fox does that about Biden or not. I mean, Biden, when he says things like, my uncle was eaten by cannibals when I went to a black church with a gay woman. I mean, when he does that kind of stuff, you settle down. None of that happened.
I do think, and we talked about this yesterday a little bit with the Pat McAfee thing.
Yeah.
I feel like if you don't actually hear or use a soundbite of whatever the person said, it's easy to take it out of context then and take a word out of it because it doesn't matter. But it does matter, and I think editorial decisions like that do matter. If that's what he said, then that entire statement should be the thing that they're using as a talking point, not just that Milwaukee's terrible. But I plead the fifth on this one. I did not catch that yesterday. So
we can close with this. Look, I do lie in the show every day, and it's for about an hour and a half. I pretend to like Tevin and AJ. It's a lie. You know what I mean?
They're hard guys to try to like.
There's no doubt about it. Just really, it takes too much of an effort.
I mean, look at that Tevin with dreamy good looks and his.
Here we go.
Chris, I was prepared to give you a little crap and blame you for the St. Thomas fiasco. That's going on with sports arena. Hey,
it's cleared, man. It's full steam ahead again.
Oh, is it?
The people around the neighborhood at St. Thomas have. They've had concerns forever. That's kind of a push and pull that goes on with St. Thomas because it's right in the middle of a nice neighborhood. So they had all these plans to build this big new ice arena / basketball arena, and enough neighborhood opposition, even though they started on it, enough neighborhood opposition came up that they got it brought in front of some aspect of this. I don't know if it was the full St. Paul City Council, if it was Planning Commission or what it was, but they got it brought up. But apparently we just reported this yesterday or the day before that they're now moving forward with construction again at St. Thomas. So
that's good. That's great. That is a great camp. Tevin was talking about this morning. It's a great campus. Really is.
I was just over there yesterday dropping my daughter off for a basketball camp. I'd love to have 2 Tommies so that I could be so broke that
I understand that, man.
One Tommy isn't bad enough that I'm barely hanging on by a thin thread. So to have 2 there would just push me right into the grave.
Well, to be honest with you, the one thing I don't like about that whole situation going on now with this paying the tuition of people at Harvard. Are you out of your mind? Everybody at Harvard's rich as hell. And you and my daughter went to St. Kate's. My son went to St. Thomas. We paid the entire bill. It was paid the second the bill came up, I paid it. So my kids did not have one free thing in college. We paid for all of it. And as we went along, it didn't take a long time to do it. We're lucky because, we're doing okay and all the rest of it. But I'm not wild about them. We should pay off $250,000 of this Harvard grad's tuition. What?
Well, I You're right. And I do think if they're going to give away college for certain people in with economic factors that are playing to it, then that's fair. Like if people don't have money, and I think I 100% agree that's fair. I do not, however, much like the feeding our future, or feeding our fraud, or feeding our whatever the big thing that's going on.
Feeding our fraud. I like that.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think bureaucracy is really great at keeping track of who should be doing things and how they're getting the money. And so that's a thing that I think about a lot too, when I think about this, being able to make college more affordable for people. Are all the proper steps being taken for actually to go to the people who really need the assistance the most? I don't know.
I still love the woman. She was some politician, I think, in Georgia. $15 million in PPP money or whatever the hell it was. First thing she did, go out and buy a Rolls Royce. Way to try to cover it up, sister.
Yeah. Lay low. Yeah. Okay. What, this $500,000 car? That's not giving it away to anybody?
$500,000 for a car. All right, Palomino, we'll talk to you Monday.
Have a nice weekend, you guys.
You too. Thank you, sir. Channel 5's Chris Egert, brought to you by Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Call Josh today for your free 48-minute evaluation, 952-925-5608. We shall take a break. Be right back. Sandy will join us right after this. Don't miss out on the 50th annual MSRI back to, I've always loved this, by the way, the MSRA deal. You ever go to that? I mean, they're showing me pictures of it right now. These cars are stunningly beautiful, man. Look at that.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Oh, look at a little kid in one.
It's always fun when these are in town because you're just driving around and you might be. It's a nice change of pace from the Toyota Camry or the Honda Civic. It's like, hey, a hot rod. That's fun.
Oh my God, these cars are stunningly beautiful. Holy Hannah. Anyway, don't miss out on the 50th annual MSRA Back to the 50s weekend happening Friday, June 21st through Sunday, June 23rd at the Minnesota State Fairgrounds. Enjoy the event with your family and friends as you're surrounded by more than 10,000 street rods and customs from 1964 or older. Be sure to not miss out on any of the weekend's events like live music, Kids World, Ladies Showcase, Collectors Alley, over 200 vendors and so much more. Tickets at the door are just $15, but you can get advance tickets at participating NAPA auto parts stores, Napa auto parts stores for a discounted price. And kids 15 and under get in for free. For complete MSRA Back to the 50s weekend info, go to MSRABackToThe50s.com. That's MSRA Back to the 50s weekend info. Go to MSRABackToThe50s.com.
I've been tracking the weather in Minnesota for a long time. I'm 5 Eyewitness News Chief Meteorologist Ken Barlow. In the morning, I've got to be right because my forecast affects your family's entire day. And in the evening, you can count on my friend, Ren.
That's right, Ken. I'm 5 Eyewitness News evening meteorologist Ren Claire. And as a Minnesotan, I know our weather can be tricky. Throughout the day and into the night, I've got you covered with an accurate forecast to help keep your family safe and ready for any weather.
And don't forget, no matter how things change or what time of day, you'll always get our forecast first at the start of every newscast on 5 Eyewitness News. Start your day with me, Ken Barlow.
And wrap up your day with me, Ren Claire.
Because 5 Eyewitness News is always tracking our weather. So you're always alerted first. It's why 5 Eyewitness News is Minnesota's weather authority.
Mike Lindell and my employee. What do you think about that timing? Dune, I'm right here.
It's pretty spectacular.
I love it, man. There's no question. There's no getting around it. Mike Lindell and MyPillow employees want to thank my listeners for all your continued support, and I thank you for that too. He's a good friend of mine. To thank you, they're having an overstock clearance and new product sale right now for the best prices ever when you use promo code TOM, and you get free shipping on your entire order. Get 50% off the MyPillow 2.0. Also get 50% off the brand new flannel sheets that just arrived. Won't last long. 6-pack towel sets, only $29.98, and take advantage of the free shipping on larger items such as mattresses and mattress toppers. 100% made in the USA, on sale for as low as $99.99. Everything's on sale, from the brand new kitchen towels that have the same technology as the bath towels that actually absorb, dog beds, blankets, couch pillows, and so much more. To get the best specials ever, go to mypillow.com or call 800-516-5146. Use promo code Tom and you get free shipping on your entire order. So call 800-516-5146 or go to mypillow.com and use promo code Tom.
This is the Tom Barnard Podcast.
And now it's time for the Italian Report with Sandy.
How you doing?
How you doing, man? What's going on in sports?
Hey, you know, the one, they got the Open, the Twins had their Prince night, Correa does a fake guitar thing on some plastic guitar. They win. They're still 7.5 back. But the only story of this week that I like, Tom, cannot wait for the big hot dog eating contest between the two GOATs.
Yeah.
Takeru Kobayashi coming out of retirement against Joey Chestnut. 6-time Nathan's hot dog champ against 16-time champion.
Now, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Why did they kick him out of that wiener eating league or whatever the hell it's called? Wasn't that what it is?
Well, there's something stupid thing called a Major League Eating.
Yeah, Major League Eating. That's what it is. Wiener,
Major League. These people are so freaking stupid. Who cares about Nathan's hot dog eating contest on July 4th when these two guys are going head-to-head on Netflix and we can watch it? I mean, no one cares who wins the Nathans because I think Joey Chestnut is endorsing some non-beef thing.
Yeah, I think it's non-beef. Yeah. Impossible Wiener.
Yeah.
Well, is it really a hot dog? Impossible Wiener. I think that's it.
Bob, we need some maturity in this studio over here.
Yeah, a couple of giggling. They're gigglies. Get your head out of the gutter.
Yeah, get your head out of the gutter, you two.
That's my Impossible Wiener was not on my bingo board for sayings on the show.
No.
Yes, it wasn't. Oh, that's all right. Yeah, why did they kick him out of the Nathan's deal?
Well, they both got kicked out. I think Kobayashi got kicked out because he had a deal with another company, and now Chestnut's got the deal with the non-meat wiener.
But isn't it now a non-event? Nobody's going to watch that.
No. Zippity doo. No.
Are they doing the head-to-head battle on the 4th of July? Yeah, but are they doing it like the
Labor
same?
Day.
Oh, Labor Day. Because if I was them, I'm doing it at the exact same time as the Nathan's hot dog eating contest, and I'm stealing all your viewers.
Well, you're absolutely right. They should have an exhibition and have the other one. Have a best out of 3.
Yeah,
works for me, man.
Well, Chestnut, he'll win this thing. I mean, he's gone 10 more than Kobayashi ever went.
So have you ever watched one of those for the entirety? I'm not talking about just tuning in for 5-10 minutes because I've done that, but I've never watched the whole thing.
It's disgusting. I mean, the way he dunks the hot dog in water in the bun, there's no way I could do it. My biggest claim to fame, 11 years old, I enter a pizza eating contest in New Jersey.
Okay.
There was a scrawny guy, a big fat guy, and a bunch of other people. The scrawny guy won. The big fat guy finished second. I finished third against all adults. I was proud. I mean, 11 years old, I could bring it.
How many slices did you eat, and what was the time frame?
I think they gave you half an hour. I ate a pizza and a half. So what, 12 slices? And they were big pies. They weren't these tiny little things.
God, there's a place named Joseph's down about a mile from the house down in Florida.
Yeah.
Their pizzas, honest to God, are like this big.
Are they square or round?
No, they're round. I mean, they're honest to God, the pizza's like that big. Like Jesus. It's delicious too. They do a great job.
There's a place, what the heck one? There's one actually in the cities where if you have 3 people and an hour to polish it off, I could bring 2 of my sons. I'll eat most of the cheese, and if they could knock out the crust, we'd set the record.
Yeah, well,
all my kids eat fast.
Yeah, but you've never eaten the crust, have you?
Oh, I've eaten it before. In competition, okay, Tom, I've never lost a beer drinking contest. If it's come to competition, I will eat the crust if I have to, if it's part of the rules.
So why don't you like the crust?
It's not that I don't like the crust. I like the cheese better. You can eat a lot more cheese if you don't eat the crust.
What do you mean you don't eat just the end, like the part with no sauce, no cheese? Or
I don't eat the innards. Occasionally, I'll take a little bit from the end and wrap cheese inside of it.
Oh my gosh,
aren't radio people normal?
It's filler. You don't need filler.
So you just scrape the sauce, the cheese, everything off, and just
very
eat
easy to do
with a fork. That's.
I'm not kidding you,
unusual.
Devin. Over at over at the Q, I used to look in the trash and there was always an entire pizza crust in the trash bin. Like, what are you doing?
But I do, you know what? I have done that, and without even having it. I like the slices, though. It's easier to slide off because you have different, you have portions. But it is okay for anyone listening, and you guys try it. Little piece of crust, maybe, just to give it a little bit of that gluten in you.
Yeah.
And then all cheese.
So it's essentially just like a jar of pizza sauce with cheese on top and meat. Essentially,
if you want to look at it in the primitive manner like that, yeah.
He's primitive. I like that.
Soup.
Now, Sandy, I got to.
Delish. I'm sorry.
No, not a problem, because I wanted to change the subject, so I want to make sure you're done.
I'm done.
Did you see this? There's this way far left cadre of women. They're all across America, and I don't think they're very extreme in their politics. And a woman stood up and was asked, "Well, what's troubling you today?" And she said, "I am sick to death of men dominating their wives." They said, "Well, what do you mean?" "Well, I mean, they dominate, this, that, and the other. I mean, if you're married to the wrong guy, he won't even let you get fat." Like, that's your argument? That you're not allowed to be fat? I mean, if you're fat, whatever. But it's my fault that you're thin. Really. You're going to live a lot longer, probably, right?
Tom, we all know. I mean, some women, they have a baby, and my God, you'd never know it. But some women, it is a battle to lose the baby fat. And then there are some women, starting with the reception, "I got my guy, I'm done with dieting." And they just start pounding back the carbs.
I still think, and this is my opinion, I have no proof of it, but I still think birth control makes women gain weight. I really do. And again, I'm not judging anybody. You're you live your life, good for you, right? You want to be, I weighed 315 at one time, no longer do.
You got off birth control,
Yeah, I got off my birth control. That's exactly. But there are a lot more very large women now than there used to be. And I'm wondering if birth control did it to them.
Yeah, I mean, birth control, weight gain is one of the side effects.
There you go.
This website.
So there you go. I mean, why are they allowing their women are losing their lives early because they're taking birth control? And again, if you want to take birth control, that's your business too. I'm not involved in that whole deal either. But I don't understand why you want to do that.
Well, they want, I guess it's a better choice than abstinence for them.
I suppose it is what it is. But I didn't have sex for the first time in my life till I was 22 years old, because I wasn't going to knock anybody up and get stuck on Plymouth Avenue in Penn.
Tom, I will not say a dirty word, but I will tell you there's another way. A guy I worked with at the Asbury Park Press many, many years ago, his wife was pregnant. Mm-hmm. And I said, well, because he was talking about having sex. I said, well, Jack, how do you have sex with your wife when you're pregnant? That seems kind of weird. He goes, exact words, "She's got a mouth, ain't she?" See, it wasn't dirty, but I think people can draw the conclusion. They were just kissing, I'm sure.
Yeah, so they're talking about kissing. That's exactly right. And I never considered that, so I guess I did kiss before I was 22. You're right.
But in those exact, "She's got a mouth, ain't she?"
She got a mouth, ain't she? Nice. Very genteel.
Yes, he's quite a romantic, that Jack guy.
So where are you headed, Bob?
I'm not headed. I'm here already. I'm in Hugo, Minnesota. My son and daughter are competing in the high school state rodeo finals this weekend. So that's why I'm here. And I mean, if I were outside, you'd hear generators, horses whinnying, people clamoring or chattering and all that. So I'm in the truck. So that's why it's fairly quiet in here. But I can't really get a good photo. Here, I'll get a close-up of my eye.
There's a good one right there.
Yeah. I wouldn't do my nose because I might have the second biggest nose in Minnesota media history after Sid Hartman.
Do you then have big boogers too?
No, mine are very tiny. I have petite boogers.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Which is odd for a man with my size proboscis.
I have a very average size nose, I suppose, but I hate having that. I hate that up your nose. Why? I know it traps it from getting into your lungs and all the rest of it, so it's a good thing, but still digging that out every morning is not fun.
Okay. I say it's better than digging it out from your eyeball.
Well, you're absolutely right. There's no question about it. When you're right, you're right, Bob.
Or your thingy. That wouldn't be good either.
Your thingy. A lot of wiener talk this morning.
Yes. Well, because we're all keyed up about Joey Chestnut. I saw how excited AJ was when I mentioned the big wiener off between both of these. Got Tevin too.
Oh yeah, I'm all
Kobayashi and Chestnut.
Yeah, well, I've been waiting for a rematch. Like Kobayashi hasn't been on the eating scene for a long time.
Really?
Like head to head against Chestnut. So it's always just, you know, maybe he's just been in training for the past like decade, and now he's gonna blow him away. I can't wait. It's gonna be one of the most, and I mean this in all seriousness, one of the most important sporting events of the 21st century.
Yes. There you go.
This will start a trend. You know, move over pay-per-view UFC, pay-per-view eating contest, Joey Chestnut versus whoever.
And Kobayashi says he's taking them down. They're already doing I
love it.
You know, going and getting each other's face with the comments. I love that too.
Taking them down, man. All right, Sandy, we will talk to you on Monday.
As always, I live for that moment. We'll
Thank
see
you,
you.
sir. Have a good day. Bob Sansevere, ladies and gentlemen, also got his own podcast. It's just the Bob Sansevere show.
Yeah, the BS show.
The BS show. There you go. He's done a good job. People like Chuck Foreman appear on there. Great guy. Chuck Foreman is one of my favorite people in the world. You know Chuck at all?
I've never met him, but yeah, he's sports royalty here in Minnesota.
Just a great guy, too. That's what I love about his son. Very successful in the business as well. Speaking of being successful in the business, we brought you Sandy, and now Tim Lammers right after this. K&L Surplus and Ammo in Lina Lakes is my choice for firearms and ammunition. Jim, the owner, is one of the most knowledgeable people in the business and is great at getting you into the right firearm for your needs. We've talked about that before. You need the right firearm. Jim's a guy who can get it done for you. K&L Surplus and Ammo now carries Benelli shotguns that offer enhanced performance, amazing reliability for uses ranging from waterfowl hunting to skeet shooting and more. I highly encourage you to stop in, talk with Jim and the rest of the K&L Surplus crew. Between their superior knowledge of firearms, friendly customer service, overall stock, and fair pricing, I can't imagine a better location to purchase your next firearm. K&L Surplus and Ammo is on Lake Drive in Lina Lakes, open Tuesday through Saturday. You can reach them by phone at 763-757-2614, or you can also visit them online at www.klgunstore.com.
The past several years have been the craziest in the history of the car business. The pandemic, supply chain and chip issues, all causing extreme inventory shortages that led to, well, predatory pricing. Some dealers charge thousands of dollars over MSRP.
We never played that game. I'm Jim Paul of Valley Buick GMC. We knew that would leave a bad taste in a customer's mouth. More importantly, from an integrity standpoint, it was just wrong.
So what about the current market? You know, inventory and pricing.
Valley has their best inventory in years. Really all the Buick and GMC models. Even the previously hard-to-find Yukons, HD pickups, and Hummer EVs. Plenty of deep discounts. Many with factory rebates and low-interest financing.
Then it's a good time to buy?
It's a great time. We're welcoming our previous customers back, as well as anyone else that felt the treatment just didn't feel right the last time somewhere else.
Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley and Hastings or valleycardealers.com. Car buying without the bad aftertaste.
I'm here talking with my friends Michael Bilski and Brad Huckle of North American Banking Company. Guys, it seems like banking has changed quite a bit since you first opened your doors in 1998.
Yes and no. In 98, we didn't have online and mobile banking like we do today. Many banking processes have also changed. One thing that hasn't changed is we still provide a true community bank experience right here in the Twin Cities.
Our team takes the time to get to know our customers and their goals. This creates a relationship that is unique in banking today and one our customers appreciate. It's why we like to say we provide a better banking experience.
You're absolutely right, Brad. I've been a customer for a long time. The service your team provides is phenomenal.
Thanks, Tommy.
So why not bank with my banker, North American Banking Company, a better banking experience, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
You're damn right you are. Yep, really.
Hello.
Tim Lammers is brought to you by Bradshaw and Bryan, personal injury lawyers seeking justice for the injured. Contact Bradshaw and Bryan at minnesotapersonalinjury.com. Good morning, sir, Mr. Coca-Cola.
Hey, thank you. Yeah, you know what? If we were on TV, they would blur this out. So this is not an endorsement. Because when I do drink any Coca-Cola products, it's Diet Coke because I'm a Diet.
Yes, right.
It's not like I'm not going with the pure sugar here. All right. Just want to let you know.
I wish I would have had one Coca-Cola when there was still caffeine in it. I mean, not caffeine, cocaine.
Cocaine.
Used to be
God,
cocaine
it's
and
hard
Coca-Cola.
to believe that actually was the case.
Yeah.
Lots of people got jacked up. Forget about the sugar, man.
Or the caffeine.
Or the caffeine. Yeah, gosh, that's crazy. No. So how's everything going today?
Marvelous, except for all the people we've had on have been horrendous, like Sandy,
Well, I know that's always the case with him. I talk to the guy every week myself.
Yes, I love Sansevere. He's just one of those guys. Yet, how do you not like Sandy?
I know. I love the guy. Was he in a car or something? What was it?
Yeah, he's at some appearance for his children and a rodeo or something.
Rodeo state finals or something for Minnesota.
If I can add, it's not Sandy's first rodeo.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Great to be here.
I do play drums, rim shot. Yeah. So anyway, Sandy, well, he's sitting in his car. I'm sitting in a theater seat. Actually was last night or yesterday afternoon for Inside Out 2. Now, you had to have seen that first Inside Out picture.
That's a cartoon, isn't it?
Yeah, the animated one from Pixar.
Yeah, I think we've seen that.
Yeah. God. Yeah. It is a great movie. Actually, one Pete Docter, Minnesota's own Pete Docter, writer, director for Pixar. I think he's the chief operating officer now. He's the head honcho now at Pixar. Pete Docter is. And of course, he directed Up and also wrote and directed. I think he wrote and directed Up and then wrote and directed this. First Inside Out in 2015 won the Best Animated Feature Oscar. In that film, we get the story of this young girl named Riley who is going through this big change, kind of like Pete Docter. She uproots, her family is uprooted from Minnesota. They moved to San Francisco. Pete's from Minnesota. He's Pixar in San Francisco. And she's trying to deal with the change. And we see that change through the point of view of her emotions in her brain. And these emotions, there are 5 of them: joy, sadness, fear, disgust. And what was the other one? Oh, sadness.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
Joy is voiced by Amy Poehler. She's the main one. Louis Black is anger, et cetera, et cetera.
That's a good call.
It was a good call. And they project these emotions through this console, and that's, and it's in the headquarters where everything is staged. So 5 years later, she is now a 13-year-old. She just turned 13. Things are starting to change. She hits puberty. Before that, though, she starts to grow up and has develops a sense of self where she knows that, it's cool to be a good person and things like that. But then once she hits puberty, then other emotions start to kick in, like anxiety and envy and boredom and embarrassment. And anxiety starts to take over her life, especially because being a hockey player from Minnesota, she's goes to hockey camp. And it's a big deal. It's a prestigious camp. The pressure's on. So the anxiety takes over her emotions. She starts to oppress all those other emotions like joy and everything else. So joy makes it a mission to get back, because all those emotions have been suppressed, to get back into the headquarters to let her experience joy again so she can enjoy life. So it's just kind of it sounds like a deep, heady concept, but obviously discussing this thing and describing it is a lot different than actually seeing it play out on screen.
Yeah.
They make it play out in a way you can completely understand. It's completely relatable because we've all been through these emotions. We have these emotions every single day, but it's interesting, to explain it from a point of view that I think kids can understand with the way they embody these emotions inside of Riley's brain.
Right.
So, I love it. It's a cleverly plotted movie. Pete Docter executive produced it, but Kelsey Mann, one of the longtime Pixar people, directed it and co-wrote it. But obviously he shepherded the piece. And, that first one's a hard one to top. I think, though, this really does continue a fine tradition of what they did before. Pixar's been having a rough go of the last few films, And I think this is going to get them back to where they need to be. So 8 out of 10 on the Lima-meter. I did indeed enjoy Inside Out 2.
Wonderful. I'm glad to hear that.
I think it's something again, Tom, I'm sure your grandkids have seen it, the first one already, but I think this would be one that would be nice to go to the movies with your grandkids. It's nice to have those family options once in a while.
No doubt about it. That's exactly what will happen too.
Yeah. So I need to follow up from last week. Did anybody see Bad Boys Ride or Die?
Nope.
Nope, but I think I'm going to go see it today.
Kevin, I thought you were so pumped that you would have been there for the afternoon screening on Friday.
Backstabber.
I worked a ton this week, so I've not had time, but I'm going to go hopefully today.
I mean, not here,
no,
but other places you work very hard.
You should have been a bad boy and skip Tommy's show. That would have gone off well. No, maybe not. Streaming. Everybody caught up. Anybody see Hitman yet?
I have not, but everybody tells me to watch it. You've seen it?
It's kind of a little weird at the beginning, and I thought I wasn't going to like it, but then it kind of settles in, and it's really good.
See, I was the other way around on it because I liked how it just jumped right into it. Like there wasn't any dilly-dallying. We didn't have to set the scene with like, oh, the main guy, he's boring and stuff. It's just like, all right, we're 5 minutes in, we're already getting to like the main portion and the development of like what the plot is. It took a weird turn. I didn't expect it to end how it did. I expected a different resolution, but it worked out. I thought it was a fun watch.
Yeah, it really is. It's it's just different. It's original. And the other thing is it's based on a true story, mostly true story, which we won't reveal the differences between the true and the movie.
Right.
But it's interesting to read about who this real Gary Johnson was. He really was a fake hitman, I should say, the guy that Glenn Powell plays. And the story matches up pretty well. And there really is a legitimate explanation for the situation he gets in with Maddie Masters, the very gorgeous Adrian Arjona in the picture. So, yes, it's a great movie. Great acting. Adria Arjona, Glenn Powell. It's a must see. I'm telling you, it's a must see, man.
We'll get it done.
I thought it was awesome too to see Austin Emilio back on screen paired with Glenn Powell, because I liked them together when they were in the 2015 Everybody Wants Some. Like the unofficial sequel to Dazed and Confused.
Yeah. Richard Linklater, obviously, they actually co-wrote Hitman together.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. And so, it really is one of those things that just fires on all cylinders. Everything worked with this. So, yeah. And yeah, so they worked together also on not Dazed and Confused. You got that in my brain. Everybody Wants Some. Yeah. So Richard Linklater also did a movie that I was not crazy about. I thought it was more gimmicky than anything, but I don't know if anybody saw Boyhood, where he filmed it over a course of like 7 years with the same actors. And obviously they aged from children, or the main actor from a child to an adult. And it was getting Oscar nominations for Best Picture and Director and all that sort of stuff. And it's like, well, basically you turned on the video camera and you string together this. I mean, it's a better movie than that, but it's like, I just thought it was gimmicky. So Ethan Hawke played the dad, and he aged over the thing too. It was pretty cool concept, but again, it's like I don't know about all of the critical and award season love that it got, but that's just me.
We understand, but yeah, we've been talking about it. Movies are not as good as they used to be, and television is a lot better than it used to be.
Well, I think with this, it's kind of a mixture between the two with Hitman, because it's a Netflix, a movie. It actually did play in theaters for about a week, but Netflix bought the rights to it, so they streamed it right away. And I think the reason that they got it and nobody else wanted it is because it's one of those rare movies where it's not afraid to be an R-rated comedy in a way.
Sure.
Kind of, there are the sex scenes and all these sorts of things that, I don't know. I mean, it just seems like comedies aren't as daring as they used to be. And once in a while you'll get them like with No Hard Feelings with Jennifer I want to say Aniston. I want to say Lopez, but Jennifer Lawrence. I'm sure you've seen No Hard Feelings, but that's an R-rated comedy that is just really a rarity. It came out a couple of years ago, a year or two ago. But R-rated comedies just aren't what they used to be, and I think that's why we're seeing this one on Netflix. But the movie, it's a terrific movie. It really is.
Looking forward to it, Pally. Well, thank you. We'll talk to you next week.
All righty. Have a great weekend, you guys.
You too, Timmy.
Yeah.
Tim Lammer is brought to you by Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury lawyers seeking justice for the injured. Contact Bradshaw and Bryant at minnesotapersonalinjury.com. That is minnesotapersonalinjury.com. Boy, did you see all the coverage of Kristen Burt getting that job at KPBS in San Diego?
Oh, she's everywhere.
Oh, my God. Big shot. Now we're going to have to put up with that for the rest of our lives.
I heard she's on the cover of Vogue next month. She's just everywhere.
Wouldn't doubt it.
Ego out of control.
It's going to be out of control. There's no question. KB2 is up next. Mike Lindell and MyPillow employees want to thank my listeners for all your continued support. To thank you, they're having an overstock clearance and new product sale right now for the best prices ever. When you use promo code TOM, you get free shipping on your entire order. You get 50% off the MyPillow 2.0. Also get 50% off the brand new flannel sheets that just arrived and won't last long. 6-pack towel sets for only $29.98. And take advantage of the free shipping on larger items such as mattresses and mattress toppers. 100% made in the USA, on sale for as low as $99.99. Everything is on sale, from the brand new kitchen towels that have the same technology as the bath towels that actually absorb, dog beds, blankets, couch pillows, and so much more. To get the best specials ever, go to mypillow.com or call 800-516-5146. Use promo code TOM, and you can get free shipping on your entire order. So call 800-516-5146. Go to mypillow.com and use promo code TOM.
When you need someone to listen, a lawyer you know and trust.
If you've never been in an auto accident, it's hard to know what to expect from the insurance adjuster. Here are some tips. 1, if they taught you about whether or not you should hire a lawyer, it's a good sign that you probably should. 2, it's illegal for them to give you any legal advice. They aren't lawyers and they aren't licensed to practice law. 3, if they tell you that everyone involved in the accident is at fault, they're wrong. This comes from the belief that you're at fault for just being on the road. That's nonsense and not supported by any law. Finally, remember that friendly adjusters are often just gaining information. They want you to do most of the talking so they can file their report. I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw and Bryant. I hope you're never injured in a collision. But if you are, don't sign anything until you talk to us.
Find Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw and Bryant.
I hosted my show on the radio for 40 years. Now I host the Tom Barnard podcast. And I'll tell you, I've never seen the passion and engagement from our audience as I do now. I know we also have businesses that listen to our podcast, and it got me thinking, wouldn't it be great to help those businesses grow by telling my listeners about them? So here's the deal. If you own or handle marketing for a business, would like to have my audience buy your product or service, visit TomBernardShow.com, keyword partner, and we'll put together an ad campaign to help your business. That's TomBernardShow.com, keyword partner, and thank you for listening.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
What are you laughing about?
You sliding in there.
Well, no, the reason I did that is because I looked on a piece of paper and it had this password for email or Hotmail or Gmail or whatever the hell.
What's the password?
I'm not giving it to you. That's why. But I took it into AJ because it had something to do with AJ, and he said that this is not my password. I don't even know what this is.
It looks like somebody's using like my info for a password for them because that's not my handwriting at all.
It's really weird.
It's really weird.
I don't know.
I'm going to make an email and pretend I'm AJ and write everyone emails late at night.
Oh my God. I'm going to be fired by Monday.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. So aren't we the star of Facebook today? Oh, she just a little tip of the head there. Oh, everybody's very excited about you on KPBS in San Diego.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm really excited to be working with them. And that post actually, so it showed up in your algorithm about a week later, Tom. So
okay.
So that's last week's news.
That's what I thought, but I didn't know. I saw it for the first time yesterday.
I know the algorithm's strange.
It is indeed, but that's going to be a great thing. So you're in charge of, what are you in charge of again?
I'm not in charge of anything, but I will
Oh,
be hosting their radio and TV pledge drives. There's a team of 4 of us. I'm really excited to work with everyone.
so you become a politician begging for money.
No. I was like, no, that is definitely not happening. And the lovely thing about KPBS is that there is no bias. Yay. They
What are
just
you
report
talking
the
about?
facts. On their news, you just get the news.
Where do you think you got the call letters? PBS, pure bullshit. Thank you very much. Great to be here.
Says the guy who has Fox News turned on every 5 minutes. And then he's like, and
Oh,
then I
no,
turned
no.
on CNN. And then I hated them all.
I did. I seriously, they will not stop talking over one another. I cannot watch it any of them.
Come to your house and block those channels on your
Good.
cable box, because that is the best thing you can do for your mental health.
Yeah, but you got to learn what's going on nationally, don't you?
You do, but there you go to the non-biased sources. You go to your PBS station. You go to Associated Press. You go to Reuters. All just the facts, and then you inform your own opinion.
You've never been to Minnesota PBS station, have you?
I have. That is where we filmed Jesse's show at Twin Cities.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah.
Because they're about
those studios. I spent a lot of time there.
over there. Although my one buddy, I got a buddy that works over there. She's a very nice person. But I never bring her name up, because if they find out that she's my friend, they'll probably attack her.
Fired on the spot.
Exactly.
No, those are nice studios over there. in
Oh,
St.
I've
Paul.
never been there.
Oh, they're very nice. Yeah. I enjoyed filming there.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. So that's what Jesse's show was shot. I didn't know that.
I am here to give you the inside scoop.
And to be a big TV and radio star.
Nah, not true.
What are you talking about?
Same
San
old,
Diego?
same old me.
Now, how often do you have to go down to San Diego?
Probably about like once or twice a quarter. It's not crazy or anything
Oh, it's
else
not a
like
big
that.
deal. Okay.
Yeah.
Because that's not a bad drive. And San Diego is a lovely city.
It is gorgeous. I'm really excited. As I mentioned before, the facilities are brand new, like multi-million-dollar studios. They're just gorgeous. The San Diego State campus, also stunning. So
Do you get like your own trailer? Do you have a rider where they have to provide, only room temperature water and green M&Ms? Like what is your celebrity status like on set?
this is KPBS, guys. This is not Netflix. But I will say that I probably had the biggest background check of my career for this particular job, probably because it's on the campus of San Diego State and it was required. But I was like, wow, oh, there's another layer. Oh, wait, one more layer. So the good news is I'm safe.
You're safe?
I'm safe. I'm not crazy.
Well, let's not go too far with it, No, but it's great. They've got a lot of really nice comments from our listeners here on this show, which I loved. That was good.
And the best part is so many of them remembered when I was in San Diego in December and I said, I'm doing a screen test. I'm not allowed to talk about it. And they said, is that the job? And I was like, yes, it is. Your listeners have like the best memories.
Well, our listeners to this show are pretty smart people. I got to be honest with you.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. And they pay attention and they remember details, which I think is very sweet. And I mean, I think I've been down to San Diego 3 times in total just to get everything in line and pass all the tests. They were like, okay, you passed your TV screen test. Now you have to pass the radio screen test. And then here I am.
What is that really, the Coronado? Is that great old hotel down there in San Diego?
Yeah, Del Coronado.
Del Coronado. There you go. What a beautiful place there.
Yeah. That whole area is stunning. It's great.
It is. The San Diego Zoo's phenomenal. You can go down there and hang out for a week, for Christ's sake.
Absolutely. There's so many things to do. It's a great place to vacation. If you have kids, there's Legoland and Sesame Place. There's no shortage. Good food, great weather. Last
time we were there with the kids, I said, oh, look, all the people sneaking across the border. No, I did not. I made that up. Anyway, she doesn't even smile. You're turning into a commie. There's no doubt about it. Are you in touch with that warship down in Cuba because you're a commie now?
It was like, what? The Russian warship that went to Cuba?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't know.
And it's a nuclear.
I only know Russian ballroom dancers. That's all I know.
Oh yeah, there you go. That's not bad. Russian dressing. You like that?
No, I don't. Mm-mm.
You don't like Russian dressing? Really?
I don't like anything creamy like on a dressing.
Creamy?
I want like a nice vinaigrette. I like light.
So you're not a big blue cheese person?
No, a lot of the creamy dressings have mayonnaise in it, and we already know my fear
yeah.
of mayonnaise. So,
I don't like mayonnaise either. I'm right
Yeah.
shoulder to shoulder with you, sister.
and you're better off doing a vinaigrette if you're, for health wise.
Oh, you could just say if you're fat. I heard that.
No, a lot of the dressings,
Liar.
I actually make my own dressing because I'm trying to avoid lots of sugar because I am insulin resistant. So
Well, you got to stay at 75 pounds. That's a good idea.
I come from small stock. I do. Everyone, like my mom, her side of the family is the Codys, and the women are very tiny and short.
Oh, that's nothing wrong with that. Catherine's doesn't weigh very much, but she's not tiny. She's about 5'11" or something. So I'm like, that's a pretty tall woman, isn't it?
Yeah, it's nice though. Height is great. I would love a couple more inches. If I was like 5'6", I would have loved it.
Yeah, but think about this. When your husband's sitting in your chair and you come over to yell at him, you're only 5'3", so he doesn't have to even look up at you.
I don't yell at him.
Really?
I don't yell. If I'm annoyed at him, I'm like, I'm so annoyed at you. It's like this. We do a lot of the heavy sighs. We
The
don't
heavy
really.
sighs.
We're not yelly people. So.
What's the one thing about, and I won't tell him, what's the one thing about your husband that annoys the hell out of you?
Oh, he knows this. He's a little messy. And I don't mean like gross messy. I just mean like a little disorganized where I'm very type A. I'm sure he's listening in the other room because every day he listens and then he's like, this is what they said about you after you left.
Oh God, we attack you mercilessly.
I know. I heard yesterday.
It's very difficult to do because, we're off the air about 30 seconds after you leave. So, it's hard to sneak something in.
You do sneak. So yeah, he's like, this is what they said.
Oh, does he tell you, I love Kristen? Does he tell you that part?
He does. He tells me the nice things and he's like, nope, they were making fun of you today.
Okay, well,
keeping it real, keeping everyone's ego in check.
I'm going to be serious for 1 second here. Why didn't you ever get into the news business? Because you would have been a very good news anchor.
Not really my interest. Entertainment really was my interest.
Anything. Yeah. Okay. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But you would have been a good news anchor.
Thanks. I mean, I think, it was one of those things that I think you really have to have. And now, especially, you have to have really specific training because now people who work as reporters are expected to shoot, edit, write their own segments.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. And they call it now a multimedia journalist. And then they pay them like $25,000 a year in small markets.
Oh God.
So that they're also waiting tables on the days that they're not your news reporter, which is bananas to me because they serve local news is probably the most crucial aspect of journalism right now.
Okay.
What's happening on the ground and in your neighborhoods. And unfortunately, journalism just doesn't have the budgets that they used to 30, 40 years ago.
And you're talking about across the board, you're talking about newspapers, television, all of it?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, to me, local news is probably the most crucial because it's easy for us to like get a sweeping scope of what's happening in the US, but what's happening in your neighborhood, local politics, social justice, education, all of that is really important. I think people forget to get engaged on a local level.
Yeah, probably true. So when's your first appearance on KPBS?
June 28th, I want to say.
June 20th, and it's a fundraiser.
Yes. This is the radio fundraiser. So we'll be doing radio this first round. I'm looking at my calendar.
And what's radio?
I lied. June 27th.
June 27th, you did lie.
I lied. I don't know my calendar. My calendar is constantly in flux. So yeah, yesterday someone was like, I need you to put something on your 2025 calendar. I'm like, oh no, I'm ready for next year.
That's still about 6.5 months away, but
It is. And I keep a digital and a paper calendar. I constantly have those, going. And I'm like, do I need a 2025 calendar already? I guess so.
Yeah, probably is true. You got to get all that stuff. So what is the approach to, because it's a different audience What's the approach to raising funds on public radio or public television? I mean,
Well, for KPBS, it really is. Obviously, you're going to have national programming that all of us know with PBS, like a Great Performances or something like that,
Right.
a Nova, the programs we've all watched, Sesame Street. But every PBS station has local programming. So again, talking about the local angle,
Right.
they cover aspects of San Diego that are important, whether it's the arts or politics or the environment, or, there's a big military presence down in San Diego as well. And they serve a great purpose to that area. So I think that is the beauty of all of that, is that it's a place for local do you call them San Diegoans? San Diego, I don't know.
San Diegans.
San Diegans? San Diegans probably sounds better. San Diegans for them to get a sense of their community. And I think the fact that it's based on a college campus that also is a real big part of the community too is a big deal.
No question. Well, we're just excited to see this for you. You achieved what you wanted to achieve, which is great. I think that's wonderful.
Yeah, I'm really excited. And I wound up finding out that a friend of mine from college is a professor at San Diego State. So I get to reconnect with her too. So there's like some fun aspects of the job too that I didn't realize.
Okay, so because it's a Friday, I want to give your husband a day off. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
God, isn't Kristen a pain in the ass?
Total pain in the ass. She's just trying to big time us now that she's on radio.
AJ, what do you think?
Bill, take her out for a good meal this weekend.
AJ's got my back.
Anything she wants. Yeah. She names the place. You pay the price.
Yep.
Lobster for me. But I will say, like, Bill would totally agree. Yeah, she is a pain in the butt.
Well, Catherine might jump in on this, and she's not even invited. So there you go. That's how it was. Congratulations again. It was a great posting on Facebook. There was a lot of great reaction.
Yeah, that the reaction, I appreciated all the support and made sure to write everyone back because, your listeners are incredible. So
They really are. They're amazing people, but get some rest this weekend. It's going to be shoulder to the wheel in a couple of weeks.
Oh, it's going to be crazy. Yeah, it's been a crazy few weeks. I've been back and forth and everything, just getting things like an employee badge, the important stuff to get you into the places you need to.
All right. We'll have a magnificent weekend, and we will talk to you on Monday.
See you on Monday. Have a good weekend.
Thanks very much. Isn't she just a magnificent human being?
Yeah, way too good for us to be on the show.
We're so lucky to have her. Yeah. Kristen Bird Entertainment News brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. That's going to do it for the show. Be back in about 15 minutes with the family.